Good evening. Good evening. I got to be a little shorter. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for meeting us here this evening for our Patriotic concert. As with all our Patriotic concerts, we have the Virginia Servicemen Honor Guard here tonight. Their commander is Cam Jason. And as they bring in the colors tonight, our own Gene McCurdy will play the bugle call on the colors. So please rise for the colors and stay standing for our national anthem. All right. Thank you once again for being here. Change of venue this evening. We decided to play it safe, but this is a nice place for a concert. There's been a few times that we've had to practice on the arena floor, and it actually sounds very nice in here. So that's a little extra added bonus. We'll start off our program this evening with the Captain America March by Alan Silvestri. Silvestri is a film composer. His credits include Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, and several of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Captain America, of course, is a patriotic hero, and this march out of his first movie is just a really nice march for the band. So that's where we'll start off with. So you get that little bit of ring in here. That's pretty nice. I'll take that. Next up is, of course, a classic, America the Beautiful by Samuel Ward. The poet Catherine Lee Bates wrote this poem. She was inspired by the beauty of the western United States as she was traveling across it by train. And her poem was sung to many different popular melodies and folk tunes. Eventually, they settled on this music that was by Samuel Ward. Its title was Materna. And then in 1910, her words and Materna came together to form America the Beautiful as we know them. Next up on our program is Hymn to the Fallen by John Williams. And Williams is a name that should be familiar to you. He's a very accomplished film composer. I won't even list all of the films that he's been part of here. But this particular one, Hymn to the Fallen, was written for the 1998 film Saving Private Ryan, set in World War II. It's a very solemn and beautiful theme written to remember fallen soldiers. There is an optional chorus part, which would be fantastic, but not tonight. Not tonight. This is recognized as one of the best movies ever, depending on who you ask, but it's especially recognized for its authentic depiction of the combat scenes, and it really was a groundbreaker in that regard. This movie was selected to be preserved in the U.S. National Film Registry by the Library of Congress, which shows its impact, and a big part of that, of course, is the music and this beautiful piece, Saving Private Ryan. Hymn to the Fallen from Saving Private Ryan. We're going to lighten it up a little bit in here now with our next piece, The Homefront, Musical Memories from World War II. It's a suite of World War II era music, and it's really fun for us to play. I hope it's fun for you to listen to as well. The songs in this one, It's Been a Long, Long Time, Thanks for the Memory, Bell-Bottom Trousers, There'll Be Bluebirds Over the White Cliffs of Dover, I'll Be Seeing You, my favorite one, Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree with Anyone Else But Me, and then we'll end with Praise the Lord and Pass the Ammunition. Our next piece will go back to a march, the National Emblem March by E.E. Bagley. Bagley wrote this in 1902, and it became his most successful work. The funny thing is that Bagley did not like it. He thought it was garbage, so he literally threw it in the garbage. And then his band members pulled it out of the trash and rehearsed it in secret. And before one of the concerts, they told him, "We're playing this," to his surprise. And it ended up being the most successful thing he ever did. The first strain uses the first 12 notes of the Star Spangled Banner, so listen for that, maybe you'll hear it. This piece is used in some military ceremonies. It also earned high praise from Sousa. When he was asked what his favorite 3 street marches were ever, he listed 2 of his own, and then he listed this one. Also, Frederick Fresnel, who edited and arranged and was the authority on Sousa marches and other marches of that era. This was his personal favorite march. So even though Bagley didn't think much of it, high praise from many people. And I will invite Bob Bernstill back up to conduct again one more time. He's going back to California after this concert, but we'll invite him up to conduct us one last time. So Bob, come on up. They're all yours.
Well, good evening from me. Big decision to make always if we come here or not, and this is the first. It was pouring on my way over here, so good decision. I passed that duty on to Ryan since I didn't want to bother the heart too much. Thanks, Bob, for coming back. See you next year, huh? Always nice to have you back. At this time, I do have to thank, first of all, we are the Virginia City Band. We're sponsored by the City of Virginia. Thanks to the mayor and the council people of Virginia that keep us going. And also, we have a fantastic work crew here at this facility. Decisions are made instantly and everything, and they just take, between Brian Silver and Jim Hunt, they take such good care of us. It's been just a pleasure. Also, our trailer that's been driven by Mr. Melby, thanks, and the percussion section that we store our stuff up at the park and then get it back and forth for practices where we practice here and between practices, etc. So thanks to all those people. I also want to extend yes. I'm talking lots now because I'm not going to talk lots after. I also want to thank the Honor Guard for being here tonight. I think they just add so much to our patriotic concert. These are a bunch of dedicated people I know because I've played taps with them several times, and there's nothing more impressive at a military funeral than to have these people there, and they do many other things too. So thank you, boys. And we added a little different flavor to it this year. Gene McCurdy back there in the trumpet section played them in instead of using the drum section, and that's a good old campfire girl from a couple of years ago, I think it was, when she was in the 7th and 8th and 9th grade playing all those bugle calls. So one last thank you, and that's to our one promotion here. Many of you or most of you are good music supporters, and you know that this Northern Lights Music Festival is going on. If you haven't seen the brochures, they're all over the place, and you've got to check them out. And this is going on from July 1st all the way through the 23rd. There's many, many events in many different places. And of course, the highlight is La Boheme, the opera, which will be on the 14th and 16th of July. Plus, they have some other deals with it. Schmidt Music Downtown has tickets to that. You don't want to miss that. It's pretty fortunate to have something like that on the Iron Range. We don't always see that here. So, one of the fun parts for me of directing the city band is we have people that are students, we have people that have been around for a long time, and we even have a distinguished alumni that came back tonight over in the clarinet section. He just received his doctorate in clarinet playing, Mr. Andrew Mahonen. I can remember judging him when he was a senior in high school. Fantastic, nice. We're now going to do the Armed Forces Salute. It's a Bob Loudon arrangement, which is a very difficult arrangement. We have the caisson song, Semper Paratus, for the caisson is the Army National Guard, Army or National Guard. Semper Paratus is the Coast Guard, the Marines hymn, the Air Force, and Anchors Away. And so if you, I'll have Cam do the announcing about standing, etc. Cam, come on up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and from the Virginia Servicemen's Honor Guard, a happy Independence Day celebration. We're going to play the Armed Forces Salute when your branch of service theme song is being played. Please stand and be recognized. United States Army. The United States Coast Guard. The United States Navy.
Next week, of course, we'll be back at the park, right? We have a special concert. We always have something special on these concerts, I guess, but last year, a friend of mine and extremely good musician, has connection to the range, taught up here for a while, et cetera, and then down in Duluth, Dick Carlson sat in the euphonium section for several years, would drive up from Duluth for all the concerts. We're going to honor him with Dan Melby Mr. Melby is going to play Danny Boy, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. So I'm going to announce the last two numbers right now because you don't need an announcement for the last one. You probably know what's coming. We're going to do 1812 Overture next. It's written by Tchaikovsky. It's first of all, we've done a couple things by Russian composers, etc. But you have to remember that and this was written in honor of the war, or when the Napoleon was retreating from Moscow in 1812. They performed it. It was supposedly performed in the one of the Moscow's main squares, and it has cannons going off, and it has the chimes we use here would be the church bells going off in Moscow at that time. And so one of the things about most music people is we don't, music is something that, goes to your heart. It makes people feel good, not anything to think war, but anyhow, this piece of music you can just imagine how proud the Russians were to have these people escape with this powerful piece of music. Our cannon, you can watch them. You find it's loud, and so we don't have we have a simulated cannon. So Cam Jason is going to do that for me. We've done it before up at the park, so we're doing it in here tonight too. So we will now do 1812 Overture, and then we're going to do our special march to end the concert. And please, we're going to have Gene X have our honor guard exit. So with the thank yous, if I haven't, please, I thank you people for showing up here. This is, we get so concerned when we have to change this and that, but boy, this has just worked out great. The sound that's coming out of here, I think we should get rid of the ice and just maybe make it a music hall.
Thank you. See you all next week.